Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint by Sing Shong. Chapter 23. Judgment Time. Part 1. The Limited Random Items Box. According to the setting of Ways of Survival, this was a coin item that was sold as a limited edition in a past scenario. Ah, no, why is this thing here? The alarmed Biryu shouted belatedly. It was banned immediately after release. According to the original Ways of Survival, the setting of this item was quite complicated. This coin item was released long before the 8,612 planetary scenarios began. It was a product that was forced to be banned by the Starstream Administration Bureau. If sub-items were put it would unconditionally spit out a top item. This would have a tremendous impact on the balance of the scenarios. In addition, the price of one item box was a huge 1 million coins. The constellations were angry at this ridiculous billing policy, and the stupid Dakibi who invented this item was fired from the Administration Bureau. See Constellations. It is like this. I don't know why it is here. High hit. Broadcast end. #BI7623 channel has temporarily closed. The delirious sounding Biryu closed the channel and the voices of the constellations disappeared. I regretted not being able to see the reactions of the constellations, but it couldn't be helped. Do. I looked down at the vibrating box. The random draw was about to start in earnest. A sword type item will be awarded for putting in the same type of items. The random draw has started. The limited edition random item box randomly spat out items of a higher rank related to the item you put in. There was a chance for anything from AC grade to a SSS grade item to come out. In the end, it was all up to chance. The offered items are related to a certain constellation. The probability that an item associated with this constellation will appear is greatly increased. It was an unexpected message. But it didn't seem to be a disadvantage for me. Both my hands were sweating. I hadn't been so nervous when I bought a random chance item in an online game. Please let it be an A rating. A top-rated item has appeared. The number of available random item boxes is 0. The box soon stopped trembling and the faint light subsided. I looked around at Yu Senga and Li Gilyung, whose eyes were shining. Shall we open it? Yes. We opened the box. Wow. Li Gilyung was so surprised that he screamed. By the way, it really was amazing. A luxurious silver guard and a white blade, the shape was somewhat similar to Broken Faith. I immediately checked the item information. Plus. Item information, name, Unbroken Faith rating, Star Relic. Description: in the past, it was the sword of the hero Kaizenix, who led the Gruziad during the Great Demon Age. The great ether dominance of Kaizenix allowed him to create a blade of faith that contained fire, darkness, and divine power, respectively. As an additional option, it increases strength and stamina level by 2. Plus. I was speechless. No, was this real? It wasn't a simple alphabet rating, but a star relic item? DDoc-SSI. Doesn't it look like a huge item? It really was a huge item. In the world of Ways of Survival, the star relics were the only items excluded from the ratings table. It wasn't just because they had a strong performance, but because these items were special. Every star relic contained the power of a living constellation. The difference in performance varied depending on whether the constellation was the hero of a certain world and how much awareness they had. However, they contained the power of a constellation, so the relics had tremendous value. In addition, it raised the level of his strength and stamina by 2. When taking into account that a grade items increased the total stats value by 1, it must be at least a S grade item. Yu Zhonghyuk hadn't obtained an item like this yet. I looked around at Yu Senga and Li Gilyung. I can really have it? Of course. It naturally belongs to Dr. SSI. Yusenga responded in advance to his repeat question. Li Gilyang also nodded eagerly. I looked at Han Myungo, but he was just eating the leg of a ground rat with a stupid expression. He was muttering unknown things to himself. I thought he would insist on having the item. It was strange. You have acquired a star relic. The owner of the star relic is curious about you. The message showed that the constellation existed somewhere. Later, I would open up ways of destruction and look for it. Then we should go back. There are plenty of ground rats out there, so we can go back with just the magic power stove. But how do we get back? It won't be a problem to leave with Gilyang's power. Use diverse communication and... However, Li Gilyang's expression wasn't bright. Hyung, Huh? There aren't any insects nearby. Come to think of it, the insects around here had burst from the pressure when I was fighting the Dark Keeper. It was a problem I hadn't thought about. There really isn't one? Some of them should still be alive. If we move for a bit and use the ability. There were so many insects in the world that I didn't have any sympathy for the few who died. But Li Gilyang still had a dark expression. Well, there is one I can actually call. Li Gilyang closed his eyes and started concentrating. Dr. SSI, isn't this a big strange? Li Gilyang's eyes were gradually losing focus. Then blood flowed down from his nose. Gilyang? All of a sudden, there was a loud vibration from above them. Dust started falling down. The vibration was coming from above ground. At this moment, goosebumps appeared on my skin. Kwang. Gilyang. Li Gilyang. Wake up. Yi. Hyung? Li Gilyang's eyes returned to normal. Gilyang, stop the skill. Quickly. The surprised Li Gilyang stopped the skill and the vibration subsided. I sighed with relief. There were incredibly dangerous monsters running around above ground. There were numerous high-rated monsters, including the Grade 7 rhinoceros. Among these monsters was the Insect King. It was obvious a type of insect just based on the name. You really? I placed my hand on Li Gilyang's head and didn't say anything. He was about to call an Insect King from above ground. Was he Fabre? We almost got buried here. For the time being, seal this skill. Don't use it unless I tell you to. Understood? Yes. Li Gilyang replied in a sad manner. Now there was no choice but to wait. We will get lost in the darkness. Let's wait a bit longer and move when small insects appear in the vicinity. It was easy to enter, but the edge of darkness was a very dangerous place. It was a place where someone could disappear for a day or two if a little mistake was made. Then Yusenga raised her hand. If it is just going back, I think I can fill in for Gilyang. How? I was going to ask if she would converse with the edge of darkness, but stopped because it seemed sarcastic. Yusenga replied in a slightly uncertain tone. I have a similar skill. When I thought about it, I still didn't know Yusenga's attribute and sponsor. What is the skill? That, it is a complicated skill to untangle. Untangle? Excuse me, can I ask what Yusenga SSI's attribute is? Yusenga wasn't a character in the novel, so I didn't know her attribute. It was like Li Gilyang and Han Myungo. That. Yusenga made a difficult expression. It wouldn't have been so frustrating if I could use character list on Yusenga. I tried to use character list once again as a test. The exclusive skill, character list, is activated. This person isn't registered in character list. Indeed. But there was one more message. Currently collecting information about the corresponding figure. It was a message that never existed before. Come to think of it, I heard a system message when Yusenga used the interpreter skill. It wasn't something that was originally heard. Was it possible for the character list to be updated after some time? Perhaps? I organized my thoughts and decided to let Yusenga go. Forget that, I asked. By the way, nice work. In the future, don't let other people know about your personal attribute. That's not it. I trust Dojka SSI. Well, Yusenga's appearance said otherwise. At the moment, I got an idea. Can Yusenga tell me about the nature of your sponsor? Yusenga bowed her head. I'm sorry. The words barely escaped from her trembling lips. Based on this level, it was possible that she made some type of promise in the contract with her sponsor. Perhaps there was a life constraint in respect with the spilling of information. I didn't know what sponsor they were, but it seemed they had decided to raise Yusenga in earnest. It is okay. I understand. Thank you, really. There was no need to thank me. She couldn't tell me her sponsor, it made my heart tense. It was the desire of a reader who wanted to fill the space between empty lines. Then try using your skill. Soon, a faintly shining thread emerged from Yusenga's fingertips and started to stretch out. In fact, I tied up a thread when I got kidnapped. One branch of the thread was connected to me, and the other one was connected outside. Maybe it was bound to Lee Hyunsung or Young Hee-won. Let's go. There was no reason for Yusenga to have such a skill from the beginning. This was definitely the stigma provided by her sponsor. By the way, it was a thread to escape the labyrinth. This, somehow, I thought it was a constellation I knew. #BI7623 channel is open. I started hearing messages from the constellations again. A number of constellations have put a claim on the channel's transmission system. The constellation Abyssal Black Flame Dragon is curious about what came out of the random item box. Ah, they haven't seen it? What a pity. Damn. That bastard messed with my channel, haha hot. Did you stay well while I was away? And the a familiar voice was heard. Bai Hyung. You did such great things while I was gone? Was it because of me that you couldn't come back? Yes, it isn't unrelated. I got a warning from the Administration Bureau because the advertisement went on for too long. Now Bai Hyung's voice was only audible to me. It was the Dakibi communication that only the Dakibi could use. Of course, it was an obvious violation of the rules to allow me to use it. I have decided not to care about small things now. And I can go back and forth to the Administration Bureau. Rather, how do you know about the random box? I found it by chance. Damn it. There are still remnants of the Black History left. Why is that box there, Black History? Wait. Surely that absurd coin item wasn't planned by you. As a reader of Ways of Survival, I didn't know this. Damn. If I wasn't greedy at that time, wow, it really is delicious. What a surprise. Bai Hyung's grumbling was cut off by Young Hee-won's cry of admiration. 10 minutes ago, we safely encountered the rest of the party, thanks to Yusenga's guidance. Fortunately, Young Hee-won and Lee Hyunsung kept the boundary until we came back. You will recover a bit after eating. Well, I really think that my better is getting better. Young Hee-won seemed much better as she swung her shoulders in a test. The meat of the underground species actually contained detoxification components. Did you get a lot of things in there? In addition to the magic power stove, I got a few things. I looked at Lee Hyunsung and said. Lee Hyunsung put on and removed the old steel shield that he received from me several times. Now he was polishing the surface again and again. It was like someone with a new car. The character, Lee Hyunsung, feels a faint loyalty to you. Young Hee-won seemed envious of the scene and asked. Is there anything I can use? No. What is that blade? It is mine. Will you distribute the meat to the people? If they have coins. But, you are really stingy. Kim Dokja. Let's say that I have a strong sense of survival. As we were passing around a piece of cooked ground rat, the tunnel ended. The surroundings suddenly brightened and people started to be seen. But the atmosphere was weird. What was this urgent and bustling mood? There are 20 minutes left until the paid settlement. Prepare the survival fee. I belatedly noticed the time. That's right. It was already that time. It was amazing that the word paid sounded so scary. Coins please. I don't have enough coins. Please, a few coins. 100 coins wouldn't be a problem if they faithfully participated in the scenario, but such humans were rare. I'll give you 1 million won, no, 10 million won. Who will sell 100 coins? The price of the coins was soaring. It was funny. There was a ridiculous premium on money that had no value until the beginning of the destruction. And there were people smiling as they watched from afar. These guys already had enough coins. It was Cheon In-ho and the Kyeoldu group. A few women flocked towards the gang members and cried out. Why, you said you would give me 100 coins before. Is that so? I don't remember. What? I will think again if you will let me put it in one more time. How about it? Young Hee-won pulled out her blade and stared at them. Those sons of a bitches. The attribute of character Young Hee-won is about to blossom. The time had come for Young Hee-won. It wasn't bad if her attribute blossomed now, yet. She needed some patience in order to get the attribute I was thinking about. Then a system message emerged. After a while, the survival settlement will begin. Save me. Save me. The expressions of the party changed. Lee Hyun-sung bowed his head sadly while Young Hee-won bit her lip while holding her blade. Everyone knew what the price of the paid settlement was. There was no one here who hadn't experienced it. Dokja SSI. Then Yusanga looked at me. Yes. In this world, coins were power. A person with coins could obtain good items or good stats. Coins were everything. Several constellations with scenario recommendations have been added to the channel. The constellation Secretive Plotter is watching your choice. The constellation Prisoner of the Golden Headband is watching your choice. The constellation Demon-like Judge of Fire is watching your choice. And I was current the person with the highest number of coins in the station. And I was current the person with the highest number of coins in the station. Just as I was about to open my mouth, I heard Cheon In-ho's voice. Oh, Dokja SSI. You came just in time. Cheon In-ho smiled as he found us. I had a foreboding feeling as Cheon In-ho spoke in a loud voice. Dokja SSI has a lot of coins. How much? You are probably the richest one among us, right? The character Cheon In-ho has activated the Insight LV2 skill. The crowd looked my way. See coins? Who has a lot of coins? It didn't take long for all eyes to turn to me. Cheon In-ho, he was a really great guy. Why, you are Dokja SSI? Please save me. People panted as they approached. The number of people flocking was estimated to be at least 20. If I gave all these people coins, I would lose 2,000 coins. But if I didn't give them coins, I would become a big villain of Gumho Station. Your understanding of the character Cheon In-ho has increased. Haha, Dokja SSI. I don't have the coins to help all these poor people, but isn't Dokja SSI different? Will you just wait and watch? I sighed quietly. I had seen this trick one or twice. The constellations of the Absolute Good system have defined Cheon In-ho as Wicked. I had enough of putting up with him. Save me. Please save me. People burst into tears with the most pitiful expression in the world. Ha ha ha. This story is becoming fun. For reference, there are 10 minutes left. Bai Hyung spoke in a voice that was full of joy, and the party looked at me with strange expressions. I let out a short sigh and slowly closed my eyes before opening them again. I see. You want coins? Then I laughed. Why should I? I looked around at the people. The first scenario was original sin. Thus, none of the people here were innocent. That made it more disgusting. Those who trampled on someone else to survive, who couldn't even bear responsibility for their own life. WY? You have a lot of coins. Can't you give us a few? In the midst of the confusion, Cheon In-ho burst out laughing. I expected this from Dr. SSI. From the very first moment Dr. SSI showed up here. Didn't you sell food for coins? If you didn't make them buy food at that time, do you know how many people can survive now? Yes. He is right. Shit. Give me back my coins. Suddenly the atmosphere was flowing against me. Maybe this was what Cheon In-ho wanted. Just a minute everyone. Your actions right now. Dr. SSI isn't such a person. Yu Sanga and Lee Hyun-sung tried to diffuse the crowd, but they had already lost their sense of reason. Then Cheon In-ho drove in the last wedge. Dr. SSI. I will give you one last chance. Give the coins back to the people. What if I don't want to? Then the worst will happen. The crowd of 20 people started to approach step by step. This, come. Give me your coins. Nevertheless, no one attacked first. Eventually, a member of the Kyeoldu group came forward. You scum! What are you doing? Kill him. Why are you hesitating when you can snatch the coins after killing him? The man who shouted had a very sturdy physique. I triggered character list and confirmed his information. Plus. Character summary, name, Han Min-sung. Private attribute, bully, general. Overall stats, stamina LV8, strength LV8, agility LV8, magic power LV2. Plus. He was the owner of abilities that fit a bully. He wasn't originally at this level, this guy did it. Yes, he acted rashly because he believed in his stats. Kill that bastard. The metal pipe in his hand moved. A steel pipe containing LV8 strength. The former Kim Dokja might be scared by this threat, but for the current me, it was just ridiculous. Sukak. The man's arm was cut off and rolled across the ground with the iron pipe. Kwakak. The blood-covered unbroken faith was emitting a white light. I swept a glance over the quiet people. Everyone turned pale when they saw a Kyeoldu group member being overwhelmed with one blow. Now that I had shown off a bit, it was time to start. Pathetic, do you really believe this situation is because of me? I looked left and right at each face in the crowd. On the other side, Cheon In-ho was looking confused. In fact, you know very well that it isn't me. Like a sick goldfish, the mouths of the crowd dropped open. I spoke like I was disseminating food to them. You guys are doing this because you are scared. In fact, even though you knew what was wrong and are in a crisis, you are trembling in fear because of them. Haha, look at this, Dr. SSI. What are you saying? It is because they are stronger than you. Their overall stats are higher than you, and they have a lot of coins. But everyone, you know what? I took a step towards the crowd and asked. The entire crowd retreated like surprised goldfish. However, they were already in my fish tank. Why are they stronger than you? I took one more step. More than anything, why do they have more coins than you? Is it because they are gangsters? Perhaps. The characters around you are shaken. Even in fear, there were some emotions that could be conveyed with certainty. Questions passed over their faces. Sichion Inho SSI, how many coins do you have? Haha, don't you know? Well, I have sold a few and. Do you think it is possible to get that many stats with just that? Really? Chion Inho closed his mouth. I turned from left to right, looking at the crowd's faces one by one. When I came to Gumho Station a few days ago, there were 87 people here. But how many people are left now? I don't think there is more than 50 people. Do you know why? They went out as scouts and the monsters? Do you still believe that? Then. You fools. Think about it with your brains. Did those people really die because of the monsters? Then why haven't any of the Kioldu group bastards died? The area became quiet in an instant. Why is it that they come back stronger? The constellation secretive plotter nods at your reasoning. Don't tell me. The people turned to look at Chion Inho. The Kioldu group members hesitated. Now it was my turn to drive in the wedge. They said it before. If you kill me, you will get coins. The constellation prisoner of the golden headband pulls his hair in excitement. But how do they know that killing a person will give coins? Why you? Inho SSI. Don't tell me? Shut up. I'm being framed. As Chion Inho moved back, the men of the Kioldu group pulled out their weapons. The frightened people were weeping. Ha ha ha. There are 7 minutes left. I stepped forward towards the people. If you have any last self-respect left, fight with your own hands. The blade of faith cried out violently. Anger filled the eyes of the people. At least get back what was taken from you. As I waited, the people of the Kioldu group rushed towards me simultaneously. I also ran towards them. Now this world is such a place. The white light moved and people screamed. Then someone shouted. Yes, shit. Sons of a bitches. The people started to move. All in all, they were people who had already killed. And mother. Daeung, come here. Do this. Just like what you did on the subway with mother. Children and mothers. This fucking bastards. There was a middle-aged Indian man. These scum. But they weren't a match. The number of people left in the Kioldu group was high and their fighting power was overwhelming due to all the coins they obtained through human hunting. Or this would be the case if it wasn't for me. Sukakak. The arms and legs of the Kioldu group members who rushed for me flew off. The eerie sensation of cutting off a person's limbs filled my hands. The incapacitated Kioldu group members looked up at me. Spare me. At that moment, someone moved ahead of me and stuck their blade in the fallen Kioldu group members. I said I would kill him. All evolution conditions of the attribute crouching figure have been met. The attribute of character Young Hee-won is blossoming. A dazzling brilliance was rising from her body. I nodded. It was now time. The attribute of Young Hee-won has blossomed to judge of destruction, hero. A judge to wipe out evil. The best of the 3 judge attributes woke up from a crouching figure. You have contributed greatly to the attribute of crouching figure. The character Young Hee-won won't hesitate to be your sword in the future. Rest from now on. Young Hee-won's eyes were pale blue as she declared. These guys are my share. The character Young Hee-won has activated the exclusive skill, Judgment Time. The absolute good constellations have agreed to the use of this skill. Judgment Time has been activated. Young Hee-won had a bloody aura around her body as her blade painted an eerie trail. It was a light and precise kendo that moved between the Kioldu group members. Blood spurted everywhere. Quiet. It was a scene of a complete massacre. Of course, Young Hee-won wasn't the only one fighting. Yu Senga, Li Hyunsung, and even Li Gilyung were protecting their respective positions. But no one was as active as Jung Hee-won. Like a person who was born for murder, Jung Hee-won killed and killed. If I cut off a man's arm, Jung Hee-won stabbed his heart. If I cut off his leg, Jung Hee-won cut his throat. Jung Hee-won took care of all those I left behind. She moved without hesitation, like a person who had been longing for this moment. The area was filled with blood. The only person left from the Kyoto group was Cheon In-ho. However, many parts of his body were injured by the citizens. Jung Hee-won looked at me, and I nodded. Cheon In-ho laughed as he looked at me. Why you? He never stopped speaking. Jung Hee-won appeared behind Cheon In-ho and cut him from top to bottom. All constellations in the channel feel intense joy. Finally, everyone stopped moving. The fight was over. However, they couldn't feel it. The times when they ate grilled meat, felt the meaning of life, joked while walking, and enjoyed moments of peace all seemed like a lie. This damn scenario. Yu Senga was crying. Li Gilyung closed his eyes. Li Hyunsung bit his lips so hard he was bleeding. Jung Hee-won exhausted her physical strength and was sitting in a pool of blood. Yes, this was the truth of the world. The survival value will be settled. There was the sound of popping all around us. Those who had coins survived. Those who failed to get coins were now dead. And no one was able to save each other. I said to the people, "Wake up, everybody." Even if I raised my head, the sky couldn't be seen. I stared at the unseen sky for a while, resisting some great fate. The noisy constellations had no answer this time. This scenario has just begun. While everyone was in deep thought, I was thinking about the next scenario alone. My mind was calm as pages flipped one after another. I have obtained everything I needed from Gumho Station. The next stage was Chungmuro.